Are you serious? Are you serious, guys? We have some breaking info that on two major stories. And so we want to get those out to you. Both of them involve airplanes. I'm going to tell you all about it here in just a second. But first, let's put that shout out right now for www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com, or call the phone 877-646-5347 as we wrap up this 2025. Amazing. It's a good time to just slow down and reflect on the year. If there's one thing we've all learned, it's that uncertainty isn't temporary. It's the world we live in now. Waiting for things to go back to normal isn't a plan, it's a gamble. For over a decade, my friends at Noble Gold Investment have helped Americans protect themselves, actually, and their retirement funds, their savings accounts, by diversifying into gold or silver. Gold, a biblical currency. Look, no one knows what 2026 is going to bring, but if it looks like, but I'm seeing, it's going to be rocky. And it's going to be really, really a wild ride. And I'm not joking. In this uncertain world, though, real wealth won't be digital. It's physical. Okay. And so when you're sitting around with your family this holiday season, give them the best gift. Okay. Bring salvation from our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. But you can also give them a little bit of peace of mind by tell them to get a gold or silver IRA or roll over that 401k at www.pastorpaulgold.com. Guys, if they qualify, or if you qualify, guys, you could get right here 10 of these. This is 1 ounce of silver. 1 ounce of silver, season greeting coin for 2025. You get 10 of them. They're $60 a piece. That's $600 worth of silver. Are you serious? He'll give it to you? Yes. As a blessing, and help you save and actually even enhance your savings. Check it out at pastorpaulgold.com, and you'll be glad that you did. And of course, guys, before I get started with this, don't forget the Christmas ornaments. Guys, get the what? Merry Christmas ornament. It is a absolute a joy, really, of Christmas to put that hanging on the tree. What a conversation piece. Get it ordered right now. We'll drop ship it right to your house instantly. Okay, now here's what's going on. Guys, it's really, really crazy. But Mike from around the world was right. He was right. Remember when he said planes are going to start falling from the sky. And guys, it just happened in France, Air France. Absolutely incredible situation happened there. And that is this: an Air France plane that was carrying, packed with holiday goers. Passengers were on the plane when all of a sudden there was an explosion and the wing blew up and blew off. And the wing was then on fire. So one engine completely blown away. Passengers were left fearing for their lives when their flight from Paris to the beautiful French holiday island entered a nosedive and fell 30,000 feet before they finally can catch on and save it. Air France flight AF 7721 was traveling from Paris to Corsia, the capital there of that beautiful French holiday island, when just 30 minutes into the flight at about 6 p.m. in the evening, those on board heard a loud bang and explosion. Passengers feared that they would be smashed to pieces after the aircraft's engine exploded. Matter of fact, Chriselle, a woman traveling with her daughter, said that when she witnessed the fire on the wing of the plane, it was in flames before feeling the plane then plummet, and panic erupted and fear. The buttons, she said, every light was going off. Everything was flashing. There was a man she saw grabbing a child because they thought they were going to crash. It was awful. Another woman, Jolie, said she thought we were going to be smashed into pieces, adding that she grabbed her phone to tell her daughter, telling her, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Jolene added that she now intends to file a complaint against Air France following this insane incident. And my 8-year-old granddaughter spent the night terrified, trembling, and crying last night. So, guys, this was awful. This was awful. The flight was 34,000 feet in the air when it fell to less than 5,000 feet before they could get this thing under control. Guys, they were just seconds away from crashing. And according to the passengers, the captain explained that the left engine of the aircraft blew up, and so the plane took a nosedive, and because of this engine failure, and they had to literally try to gain control of the plane before it would go crashing into the ground. So, guys, this was terrible, terrible, terrible information. But Mike from around the world said it's going to keep happening. And guys, this is about the third plane in the last month that has taken this incredible tumble and fall from the sky and then fall like 25, 30,000 feet. And this is the third time. And each time it has to do with an engine on the wing. It's terrible. So we've got some serious problems. Is it sabotage? Is it maintenance? Is it? And it's happening in different places in the world. So, but is there? I hate to say it, but is it a terrorist situation? What is going on here? Or is there something going on in the heavens? The atmospheric compression, the charged particles in the air. Mike around the world was saying to us, he wasn't talking terrorist, he wasn't talking maintenance. He was talking about something in the cosmos, something maybe coming from off the sun or deep space that's causing these planes to start falling from the sky. And the smaller planes are crashing all over the world. So this is becoming very, very dangerous. Now, this isn't the only thing that we're worried about tonight. We are absolutely got breaking news just now that Russia is evacuating their diplomats and families from Venezuela by airplane as the United States is seizing oil tankers. Russia's foreign ministry has begun today evacuating the families of diplomats from Venezuela, according to a European intelligence officer, as the United States today, December 22nd, pursues its third sanctioned oil tanker in the Caribbean, and President Donald Trump convenes senior national security officials at Mar-a-Lago for high-level meetings. The evacuations, which started Friday and included a woman and children, came as Russian officials assessed the situation in Venezuela in what the intelligence sources are describing as a very grim tones. The withdrawals signal heightened concerns that stability in the South American nation as the Trump administration escalates its fourth and 4-month pressure campaign against President Nicolas Maduro's government. More than 10 vehicles bearing diplomatic license plates stood outside the Russian embassy in Caracas this morning. And though no personnel were visible entering or exiting the compound, the vehicles had departed by early afternoon. Neither the White House nor the Kremlin is responding to what is taking place. Venezuelan foreign minister, though, Jan Gil, said he spoke by telephone with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, who expressed Moscow's support against President Trump's declared blockade. Gil accused Washington of committing attacks against vessels and extrajudicial executions and the unlawful acts of piracy in the Caribbean waters. Now, President Trump held a meeting with his Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and his Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, and the Secretary of the Navy, John Phelan, and also as Coast Guard vessels continue tracking sanctioned tankers in the Caribbean waters. The White House characterized the gathering as a preparation for a major announcement, with the White House officials saying Trump plans to discuss a shipbuilding initiative. Now, Coast Guard cutters today pursued for a second consecutive day a sanctioned tanker that officials described as operating under a false flag and subject to a U.S. judicial seizure order. The vessel is the third that was targeted in the recent days as part of what the Trump administration calls Venezuela's dark fleet. These ships were used to evade U.S. sanctions on oil exports. Now, while this is going on Saturday, even the Coast Guard personnel seized a Panama flag tanker, and they took it following December 10th of another Panama registered vessel, and took the captain. So both these, all of these things that are happening is part of the sanctions against Venezuela's crude oil through international waters. So now Trump is fighting drug trafficking. He's fighting human trafficking and sex trafficking and child trafficking and slavery. And now from the narcos and all they're doing. And now the illegal oil distribution that was headed for China. Now, while the U.S. forces operate in these international waters, the tanker identified a Venezuelan Transparencia Venezuela, which is an independent government watchdog, as part of the shadow fleet, was observed moving between Venezuelan refineries, including a facility in El Palato, which is 3 hours west of Caracas. The vessel remains docked at the refinery through Sunday and through this morning as families are visiting along the beach during school holiday break. But here's the thing, guys. It's getting very intense. Trump is putting the pressure on. The blockade's on. The sanctions are in. Ships are being seized. Boats are being blown out of the water. It's a real deal. And troops are starting, and U.S. naval ships are surrounding and beginning to anchor in this blockade. I'm serious, guys. So we've got a plane falling out of the sky. We got Russia evacuating their diplomatic personnel, and that always happens just before a war or a ground invasion. Russia's getting their people out of there. They know what's about ready to happen, and they know the wheels are going to start coming off the Russian populace, the Venezuelan populace, if this takes place. This is very serious. This is very ugly. This is very concerning, but this is exactly what Mike from around the world said was going to happen. Planes were going to be falling out of the sky, and Russia was not going to withdraw from Ukraine, and the United States was going to drive the Russians and the Chinese out of the Western Hemisphere. Are you serious? Something biblical's going on here with the signs of the second coming of Jesus Christ, the King of glory.
I see geese flying high above the water, the child fishing with his father in the rain. I can smell blackberry brandy and chocolate-covered candy. I see a soldier crying on a train, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows blows all night long as I dream with weary wonder, leaving earth before the dawn. I walked the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. Are you serious? I feel the deepness of his weakness. I can taste the brandy sweetness at a roadside Idaho cafe. I can hear old Teddy laughing, Fitzgerald's toes a-tapping to the roaring sounds of yesterday. Falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long as I dream of weary wonder, leaving earth before the dawn. I walked the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway.
They were not just falling asleep, they were falling out of the sky. And they just had left Paris. Are you serious?
And the light under the Tiffany lamp burns all night long as I dream with weary wonder, leaving earth before the dawn. I walked the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And a shotgun blast echoed across the page, falling asleep, reading Hemingway.
Wow. What a beautiful song, but a sad ending. Very sad ending. But Ernest Hemingway was one of my favorite authors when I was growing up, and I can tell you that it was a blessing to go and visit his home, and to walk through his home and see where he lived and where he wrote some of his great novels down there in South Florida, actually down in the Keys. Okay, Key West. Guys, let me tell you right now, be praying as this situation in Venezuela is taking on a whole new level. Russians that are, evacuating diplomats, this is huge. And what is causing these planes to keep blowing up engines and falling 25 and 30,000 feet? Mike from the World said it was going to happen. He said you're going to see more of it. Let's keep our eyes open. We're living in the last days. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. We're living in the end times. No doubt about that. No doubt about it. Are you saved? Give your life to Jesus Christ. He's coming soon. God bless.